cut me off of the air. That wasn't great. So back to random topics. And let me make sure that hotkey is not the same to end my stream, because that would suck. But that's why you do this stuff early. We talked about time. And I've also got to put the recording back on. Let's generate some more topics to speak about. Says advice. I think we'll talk about that. Do I believe time is real? That's a great question. Here's what I will say about time. I do believe in a God that is above time and is, not controlled by time. But I think time was definitely something created by man. Something that way we can keep track of what's all going on and keep ourselves in line. Because without it, think about it. There's no such thing as days without time. There's no such thing as years without time. You are literally just in an existence that seems kind of pointless. So I definitely think that time is important. Is it real? I feel like it is, only because I believe that humans are given a sort of power, and we've used that power to create time. And that's just my stance on it. And I accidentally ended the stream. That was fantastic. I just want to let y'all know. Let me check my hotkeys again. This is so weird, reaching for this mouse. Stop recording is F4. I didn't touch F4. Oh, stop streaming is F2 as well. Okay, yeah. That won't get touched again. We had our peak viewers in here, and everybody got the button. Anyways, let me make sure to tell everybody to refresh your page. Wait, hopefully for everybody to get back somewhat. Drink some water. So random topics was advice, and that's something I give a lot of. Even though there's no one in here at the moment, we're going to pretend like there is till everybody comes back. Actually, what I might do is hit the BRB. Alright, so the quickest BRB you've ever seen. But I am back. So sorry about accidentally ending the stream. Even though it's the same button as I switch. I wish that Streamlabs wouldn't let you be an idiot, right? Sometimes Streamlabs hangs you out to dry. and lets you act like an idiot. And just this one time, it did that to me. It let me hit the wrong button, kick everyone out of my stream. All 5 of you that were there. But hopefully you guys will come back and hopefully hear more of what I have to say. If not, that's cool too. I completely understand. Thank you for the follow, Little Sturge Ago. It actually scared the crap out of me because the volume on that was very loud. I need to change that sound clip. But thank you so much for the follow. Every little bit helps. That's what people don't realize. Every little bit helps. I think I'm at 100 something followers now, and it's crazy to think. And I don't know how many subscribers my man gifted. Actually, I can tell you how many subscribers he gifted the other day. So he gifted to me 3 subscribers for like 1 month. So again, like, all that helps was what people don't realize. Like, literally, I'm doing this today. I don't have anything else for you to watch, but it's just me talking to you. So it's like, I really appreciate it that you guys are here, and I really appreciate the follow is where I'm getting to. Sometimes I start to lose train of thought, but it's kind of whatever. That's part of it. That's why it's live. That's why you do things, because anything and everything can go wrong. And it's all about recovery and not getting super caught up and finding ways to toss things around. That's what they teach you. It's like toss things and find things different to do. There's my spiel. But again, thanks for the follow, man. Means the world to me. If I could give you a fist bump, right? Like through the camera. Here you go. Boom. Now it has to refocus me. There we go. There's fist bump through the camera. Alright, so advice was the topic that I found. I've got to submit the form again. Whatever that means. He said, turn me up. Yes, sir. Okay. So I'll tell you what. Actually, I think I'm going to stop taking the expanded versions of what this was and then start talking about advice and what it can do for people. He said, wrestling more. As soon as I finish this topic, I've got you. Okay. Yeah, I definitely got you as soon as I finish about advice. But what people don't realize is that, one, advice can be good or bad. Duh. Everyone has that person that you go to that they're going to give good advice, whether you listen to it or not. Whether it's like, hey, stay away from this person because of this and this and this. And sometimes that sucks to hear. It really does. It sucks to hear because, especially if you care about that person, right? But why would they tell you anything they don't want you to hear? So then you start questioning them. And then it's like, so why would you give me that advice? Oh, well, you're biased. You're this and you're that. And I think what I'm trying to get to here is that there's very few people in the world. It's a rare breed. And when you find them, latch on to them. You see that? Latch on. When you find them, latch on. Here's why. Because there's a rare breed of people who only want to see your best out of you. So they will consistently tell you you don't need this because they see certain potentials in you. And you've got to get over yourself to see that in yourself. So if somebody tells you, and somebody that's close to you and has nothing against something, they're not getting anything out of it. That's half the time, like when I give advice to people, which is why my mom and my wonderful girlfriend keeps telling me, dude, just go ahead and get into counseling, into therapy, is because I have nothing to gain when I speak to strangers. And I'm not going to put myself over here and be like, oh my gosh, I'm such a great person. I believe I have a heart of compassion for people, for real people, which is why I'm here, just to talk to you guys. I don't really get much out of this. I don't get paid to talk to you guys necessarily. But literally, let's find the train of thought. Literally, when I help people out randomly, it's not because I want anything out of it, If I'm speaking to, even when I was single, if I was, speaking to a woman with relationship problems, I didn't want to break her relationship up. I just wanted to help because I'm a vulnerable human and I've been in that same situation or a similar situation in which I feel I can offer my own input in. So you've got to find those rare people. And yes, I will go ahead and say that I'm one of them, and that is not to, elevate myself by any means, because I believe there's plenty of them in a rare world. It's a big world, and because there's plenty of them in such a big world, it makes them rare, if you get what I'm saying. There are people in the world that genuinely care about you and willing to give you good advice if you are willing to listen. That's the biggest thing. Pride always comes before the fall, as they say. You've got to understand. I'm not talking about pride fighting championships, but you've got to understand that sometimes it's not always what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear. And sometimes, even though some people may not believe in him that come across this, God, the one that I believe in, Yahweh, he puts people in your life to give them that word to help you with them. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you guys. That's not what I'm here for. But I'm also saying that even if you believe in other things, the universe itself also will revolve those people around you and try to help you. You just got to be willing to take it. What good is me holding out $1,000 to you if you don't take it? Because if not, I'm just holding out $1,000. I look like an idiot. Think about it. So someone's giving you that $1,000, $1 million advice. Why aren't you taking it? Do you think you know better? Here's the thing that cracks me up about us as humans. Do we really think we know better when we got ourselves in that situation? It blows my mind. And it's something that I've had to humble myself and do as well. If you put yourself in a situation and you think you're going to be the only one to get yourself out, it depends. Most of the time it has to be you, right? You have to do something. But if you get yourself where you're down and out and you need to call other people and you have the audacity to tell other people, okay, I need help, and then not do what they said at all and then think that you got it. What's up, Troll Bear? How's it going, man? But that's my take on advice, man. It's just don't feel like you're too good for advice. That, he said you love my advice. Well, I appreciate it. Much love to you, man. Much love to you. But I'm just saying, man, don't be afraid to thank you so much for telling me I'm a kind-hearted person. That means the world to me. Much love. You know what? You deserve a shout out. Oh my goodness. Let me matrix dodge over all my equipment. Let's give a shout out to Troll Bear. I hope I put the correct. Yeah, I did. Or was it? It's an I. Sorry, Trolley. Oh, I saw it. Anyways. Sweet. Okay. Sorry about that. But just one last time, man. Don't ever be too prideful to take advice from somebody, even if it sucks. Not the advice, but even if what you hear from them sucks to you. Like, it's terrible. Oh my gosh, I don't want to stay away from this person. I don't want to eat better. I don't want to get my life together. Think about what that sounds like. They tell you, we literally have doctors, and I'm not, it reminds you of the Death Star. Well, thank you. It's actually, all it is a blue snowball on a scissor arm. So yeah, I never thought of it like the Death Star, but now that you say it, I think I'm going to dub it the Death Star. And this is recorded, so you get complete credit, and we're going to be speaking into the Death Star from now on. Anyways, like, think about whenever a doctor or someone has given you advice. Life is very beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the follow. After those wonderful words of encouragement. Yeah, much love. And yeah, never keep your head down. I'm the same exact way, man. I've learned, it's something that you've got to learn though. People don't realize, because I grew up a happy kid. I really did. It was to the point where people were concerned about how much I was smiling and how positive I was. And then I got into some negative things. And that's whenever it really tests you. It's easy to be positive when everything's positive. And this is stuff that it's not hard to find. It's common knowledge. So when everything's going good, it's easy to smile. But what happens whenever you get punched in the face by life? Like, And part of that can be avoided by you too, because what people don't realize is that oh, thank you so much. All these compliments. Wow. Heart is warm. What people don't realize is like that we have a responsibility too. And a lot of people, even though like I said, I do believe in a God. I believe in God. That's right. Positive vibes only. People like to place everything on that higher power because it's mighty and all that. But I think people miss the point is this. You have a life to live. Now, whether you believe in whatever, that's fine. But you have a life to live too. So why aren't you taking the steps to make sure that your life is going correctly, or, is doing well? Or people like to go, oh, well, you're blaming this thing on a higher power and blah, 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 blah. But it's things that are direct results of man doing things. Like, I'm sorry to say it, and I hope this affects nobody. You only live once. I hope this doesn't affect anybody in here, but if somebody is victim to, for example, gun violence, and you go, oh, why God? Why? That's not God or not any other higher power. Blame the guy that did it. That's his mind. That's his psyche, because he decided that he wanted to do that. So, like, we've really got to understand that we have power too. Like, we have the power to take a life, including our own, which is why some people do it. And it's the saddest thing ever. And I hate that. Like, it's something that I want to work to prevent. Like, I pray that no one ever again does it. But, every day we have people that feel like they're not willing to be on this earth any longer. So I'm going to get off that sad topic and start answering questions again. So what kind of music do I like? So my music is kind of all over the place, for lack of a better term. So basically, anywhere from 1990s Deftones to trap music, I guess, in a way. Say, can I please give you your music? Yeah, absolutely. I can give you an opinion on your music. Drop it to me, either at a whisper, or if you drop it here, I can't guarantee it'll stay. Or here's exactly what you can do. Do you have social media at all? If you do, here's how to get in contact with me. Twitter at EmperorJProd, or Prud, short for Productions. Snapchat at BigBlack306. And again, that's me giving you my personal snap and stuff. Emperor J Productions on Instagram. And again, these are all willing to I am definitely willing to speak to you guys, because you guys are awesome and you're wonderful. So yeah, I'll leave that up for just a second, just in case anyone would like to follow me, contact me, anything like that. And then we're going to get back to topics. We're back here. While we do this, I'm actually going to make sure to put that in my notes, because I'm definitely going to give you a listen. Because you see, I definitely like to, he said my poster rocks. Which poster? Am I missing something? Okay, so I was requested to talk about wrestling from a very special member in the audience. Oh, the promo pic. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I work hard on it. I work hard on everything I do. So people don't realize I take the things I learned in school and apply them to stuff I do, because why not? Like, what people don't realize is you can take full advantage of your education if you want to, but it's only if you take full advantage of your education. Again, you have power. So, I want to talk about wrestling. Ask him what he wants to hear about wrestling. I'm all about talking about wrestling. I can talk about wrestling all day, if you would like. Waiting. How about I tell you about the different yes, that's right. You are in control, Charlie Bear. How about I tell you about some of the different well, one, how I got into wrestling. How about that? So I started watching wrestling when I was 2, right? I think I was at my first live event at the same age, and I remember it just on television. Can I react to your music on stream? Absolutely, I can react to your music on stream. If you'll give me just a second, I'm going to start. I'm going to talk about wrestling, and then I'm going to definitely give you music a listen. So give me about 15 minutes, and then I will get definitely add that on. And if I dig what you do, I'll give you a plug like a commercial. He said Big Box checking in with Dr. Dizzle, aka he said Sasuke, but it was Sosuke. I will give you a pass this time. What's going on, Mr. Edhead87? How's life treating you, man? Big Box, as always. So, when did I first begin watching? Again, I was 2 years old, and I think that was my first live event. And what a lot of people don't know is my family's military. This is relevant. My family's military, and my parents were stationed in the Carolinas. If you don't know anything about the Carolinas, that's Crockett country, right? Jim Crockett Promotions. If you don't know who Jim Crockett is, maybe you've heard of the NWA. If you don't know who the NWA is, you've heard of Ric Flair, and it's not the rap group. It's a wrestling promotion. It wasn't a promotion. It was an idea. I'm sorry. National Wrestling Association or Alliance, one of the two. It depends on who you talk to. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're welcome to look that up elsewhere. My mind's not completely working on all cylinders. So you get a family who is used to just consistently going to these WCW shows. My sister has a picture with Jeff Jarrett. Dad doesn't really like Jeff Jarrett, but that's a different story that I could tell on Storytime one day. Have him retell it. But it was something special to me, right? Because what a lot of people don't know, and my girlfriend actually asked me this in the car last night, and she goes, we were on the way back from Tennessee, and she goes, so why do you like wrestling so much? And I go, do you ever have superheroes in your life? She says no. And I love her to death, but I believe her. That's the thing. And it's scary. But I literally want you guys to think of those people that are larger than life for you. Do you literally have some superheroes in your life? Give you a little time to think, and then I'll tell you what I think about it while I slightly adjust this light. Please don't fall on me. Please don't. Okay. But literally, it's a matter of having literal superheroes that are doing things that almost seem superhuman. Maybe I need to move this light back some. I'm not liking the shadow that I wound up casting. So you've literally got people doing super cool stuff, people flipping off the top rope, and then you get the dorks, right, that come in and continually just go, oh, it's fake, oh, it's fake. I've had this conversation before, and they don't realize, again, the damage it does to people's body, the strenuous travel schedule. If you think you work a lot, these people only get, like, Christmas off. That's about it. Especially in WWE. I mean, not so much anymore, but that used to be the schedule, man, for WWE. And so you've got these big-time athletes, like, name your favorite football player. Now equate that. That's my favorite wrestler, right? So they're on that same plane for me. That was my sport of choice to watch, was pro wrestling. And people laugh like, oh, it's a fake sport, blah, blah, blah. It's not a sport. I was like, when wrestling is done correctly, it's a sport. Because it's not necessarily the competition in the ring, which it is and it isn't. But hear me out. Let me get back to the point. It's also the competition of becoming better in the ring to help your craft, to promote your craft, to make the most money, and dedicate your life to something that is sacred. It used to be sacred. Now it's kind of just whatever. Everyone thinks they can do it, and everyone tries to get into it and all that. And like, people get into it without the proper training. If you go to a lot of people don't know this. If you go to the state commission right now, I know some viewers in here from Kentucky, just like I am. If we go to the Kentucky Commission, take the physical, pay the $25, we're technically a professional wrestler right off the bat. Think about it. We're technically a professional wrestler right off the bat. So as soon as you finish med school, no, sorry. As soon as you finish college for broadcasting, not even that. Let's say you just walked into college, right? And you took a test for your major and walked out. And you're certified to do it now. You're a certified doctor. You're a certified lawyer. You're a certified nurse. All because you paid a fee and took a test and walked out. You didn't go through training. You didn't go through work experience. You didn't go through an internship, anything like that. You walked in. You paid your money. You stepped on a scale. Got your body checked. Okay, this checks out. You're good. You're a professional wrestler. And that's the problem. It's because these guys get it. They're like, you're a professional wrestler. And they don't go to wrestling school. They don't get training. They just do some crazy stuff. Wait for people to see them on Twitter. Then get booked by people because they do some crazy stuff on Twitter. And then it just doesn't do good business overall. And then they last for a few months. Oh, well. Good on them, I guess. Just not the kind of wrestling I prefer. I prefer trained wrestlers. Wrestlers who take this seriously as an art. And whenever you really appreciate that and you really grow up around stuff like that, like I said, I grew up around NWA. It was a sport. It was real. Like my uncle told me when I was talking to him the other day, not the other day, it was a few months ago, Thanksgiving. He said he remembers specifically because WWF has always had that, WWF/WWE now has always had that cartoony feel to it. And what he told me is that everyone would go, that WWF stuff is fake. You know, it is fake. But the NWA, that's real. Those are real athletes. Those are real men. That's a real competition because that made you believe. And here's the thing, man. And here's why I'm so frustrated with the world, because anytime you say you like professional wrestling, it's a burden. Even back in the day, it was a burden because everybody started finding out. People don't realize, right? So let's say I'm a dweeb and I come up and go, oh, it's fake, as soon as you're watching it. And like I mentioned earlier, would you do that to an Avengers movie? Would you do that at a magic show? Would you pay your money to go see a magic show or walk by? No, it's not them with attitude. NWA, National Wrestling Alliance or Association. I'm weak. But would you pay money to go see something, or would you walk in on somebody watching something and go, oh, you know that's fake, right? On TV. If somebody's watching an episode of Seinfeld, you can walk in and go, oh, it's fake. I'm not. Because that's not who I am. You might, because that's who you are. And if you are, I hope you change. Because if that's the case, every movie I watch and I see you, I'm just going to walk up and be like, okay, it's fake. It's this. It's that. What's the point? What do you gain from that? And I think here's exactly where I think they're coming from. Let me sit up for this. I think they heard it right. And now it's like one of those things. It's like one of those quote unquote internet outrages or internet things. So you hear something on the internet and you see somebody doing it. And now you've got to go, oh my gosh, this is this. Did you hear about this? You know that's this, right? So why do you still watch it? 99.9999%. Thank you for the follow, Edhead. Threw me off of my tangent, but thank you so much. Like you kept me from getting too worked up, rather. Thanks for the follow, my guy. Anyways, let's check the text. I can do that. I can lead into a segue to that, actually, what I just got the text for. So, 99.99% of fans nowadays know that wrestling is not an actual competition. Professional wrestling. Amateur wrestling, yes. Collegiate wrestling, yes. Olympic wrestling, yes. 99.9 people know that's not a, yeah, it's no biggie, bro. It's no biggie at all. Twitch is weird. But literally, we know. So why people feel the need to walk in and go, oh, you like that fake stuff? I don't get it. So I was requested to talk about my top 3 favorite wrestlers and wanted to know if I had any knowledge on AEW in them. I can do both of those. Top 3 favorite wrestlers. Number 1 is Bret Hart. The reason being is because Bret Hart for me is a complete wrestler. Bret Hart was not the biggest of guys. Bret Hart was not the strongest of guys, but Bret Hart made you believe that he could tie you up in 6 different knots and win a match. Super technical. Everything he did was clean, looked solid. He could sell for people. I love Bret Hart, dude. He's a living legend. Got did dirty by the Montreal Screwjob. I'm not here to have a conspiracy about that, which I could do a whole show over. But it's just like, he's the complete wrestler for me. So he's got to go number 1. Number 2, which really is 1.5 because they're right there, is Eddie Guerrero. To me, Eddie Guerrero is still the greatest of all time. And that doesn't mean he has to be my favorite, but he is the greatest. This is a guy who stands at about 5'7", 5'8", my height. From Mexico, he's a luchador, and he comes over, works in almost every country you can imagine. Here's the thing, like a lot of people don't know, Eddie Guerrero worked for New Japan. Eddie Guerrero was Black Tiger 2. Go look up Black Tiger 2. As a matter of fact, I will drop that in the chat for you guys. Go look up Black Tiger 2. That's Eddie Guerrero. He worked in Japan. So you've got this guy, a seasoned vet. He's not the biggest of guys, but he can tussle with them. He's the one guy that size that you believe could beat Brock Lesnar, and he did. And of course, his life was cut short by some medical issues, and rest in peace to him. But if you just look, go back and watch some Eddie Guerrero matches sometime, man. Go back and look at the way that man had a match, the way that man used in-ring psychology. A big thing that a lot of guys do now is comedy wrestling, which has its place, but they do it over the top to expose the business. Eddie could make something funny and make it look like it was part of the match and look like it was good. He could make you laugh without taking away from the seriousness of the competition. He made you laugh in the midst of the competition because that was his character. He was a joker. Greatest of all time. No one can change my mind on that. But Bret Hart is still my number 1 favorite. Number 3, and that gets tough as time goes. Definitely gets tough. Man. Trying to think who got put in that 3rd spot. And this sucks for me. Off of influence alone, oh my gosh, and I hate to say this, because I almost need a top 5 list for this, right? But not really actually 5 slots, but like half slots. Off of influence alone, the Great Muta is probably number 3 for me. If you haven't heard him, look him up. Great Muta, M-U-T-A. Fantastic guy. He is kayfabe, which kayfabe is just a respect to the business. That's all that word means, that people don't understand that. They think it's this huge insider term. It just means respect for the business. It was a code word that people used to use silently in sentence to, keep outsiders from learning things from the inside. Not everybody's on the inside. Great Muta is so influential. He was he also wrestled with Tajiri, if anybody knows who Tajiri is. The Green Mist is synonymous with the Great Muta, Tajiri, and the Great Kabuki, who was the Great Muta's father in storyline and wrestling. And what people also don't know, speaking of which, something cool, is that the Green Mist isn't just the Green Mist. If you do a wiki search, a Wikipedia, you can also find that there are multiple colors of mist that were used in Japanese wrestling that made sense of storyline. So, for example, there was a black mist that left a lady, they got sprayed by it blind for a week. There's a red mist that does a little bit more burning, blah, blah, blah. And the green mist, of course, is meant to burn. It's meant to do that. Yellow mist is meant to cause confusion, I think. So look up that article, not article, but like the Wikipedia page, and you'll kind of see historically like where that comes from. Because people are like, oh my gosh, that's so silly. But you got to think, these were mysterious characters in professional wrestling, and this is before the business was really like super exposed. So whenever you got shot with that mist, didn't nobody know what it is. Now everybody knows. I have to reveal the secret here. It's food coloring. That sucks when you hear it, but back then you didn't know what that mist was. Tell me you knew what Tajiri's mist was. Nobody knew. He was a foreign heel. He was a Japanese guy shooting out mist. And you thought he could actually do it, because all he would do is take those two fingers like this, him and the Great Muta, act like they're activating that poison gland and just spray people. And that was that. So number 3 is the Great Muta for sure. Great Muta slash Keiji Muto, same guy. But definitely influential, and Shining Wizard. Of course, everyone loves the Shining Wizard. That's his finisher. And had the most beautiful moonsault next to Christopher Daniels. Had the most beautiful next to Christopher Daniels now. But definitely in my top 3 list, just has to be. Now, he wants me to talk about AEW and if I have knowledge of them. And I do. And I have my thoughts and opinions. I'm never going to be here to bash anything anyone else is doing. I think AEW, they have a lot of money. They have a lot of talent. They just need to. Here's the thing. I mentioned earlier that I like wrestling that's presented as a sport. Even though we know, okay, yeah, it's got its predetermined. I want it to be presented like a sport. I wanted to make it feel like, I'm watching a fight. Or I'm watching someone simulate combat. Instead, it's like, well, here's a performance. Here's a bunch of moves. So, you get AEW, who claim to be a sports broadcast presentation, and they've just got some stuff on the pre-show that's just got to go. They can't have certain things on there that that's not conducive to being a sports broadcast, or else no one's going to take them seriously. For example, they had Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks throwing a Hadouken in a wrestling match. And you got to think, that's literally a video game move, Give me just a second, guys, and I will be right back and continue this conversation where I left it off at. Okay, and we are back. Sorry about that. Had to take a call. Let's get the headset back on. So now AEW, back to what we were talking about. They just got to do some things just a little different, man, and then they'll be okay. I'm not one to sit here and go, oh, they're going to do terrible. But the fact that people are like, oh, they're going to put the WWE out of business, that's just not going to happen. WWE has too much money, and why would you want to put WWE out of business? It's competition. The wrestling business thrives off of competition. Everyone knows that. So why would you want to put somebody out of business that is, in direct competition with you? You need more wrestling organizations. The thing is that, you can't present yourself as a sports thing and then do a whole bunch of goofy stuff. Here's the thing, like, a good gauge, right? If you wouldn't see it on a UFC pay-per-view or a boxing pay-per-view or anything like that, you shouldn't do it on pro wrestling. With some exceptions, of course. You can do some other stuff. But, like, if you're presenting it as, okay, these are some more realistic fights, then, that's how you want to do it. So, does he have any other questions for me? Because I'm super, like, I'm down to talk, to answer questions, all of that, man. Like, I enjoy this stuff. Y'all know that. We can talk about MMA. We can talk about wrestling. Talk about it all. And I'm going to try to stay off my phone as much as I can, but, I do have people counting on me, making sure. Also, for those of you that don't know, he said, talk about global warming and your view on the planet. Can he save it? Is it our fault? Okay, so I'm not going to pretend like I'm a big guru on global warming, but I will say that there's definitely an issue because it is hotter than piss. um, but I will give you this theory. And stay with me here because it's a theory. It's not exactly my views, but I was once talking to an old roommate of mine. I won't mention his name, but I was talking to him, and he said that if you think about it this way, it makes a little more sense. So, you've got the Ice Age. Everyone remembers the Ice Age. You remember the movie. You've got the woolly mammoths, the saber-toothed tigers, all those species that wouldn't exist, the earlier humans that we wound up seeing get froze. That was the Ice Age. As you see, the planet's no longer in an ice age. From the time I can literally say that anyone was born, it's no longer an ice age. So here's what he was getting at. And maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's indifferent. Bring this pop filter back up. Maybe he's indifferent. Who knows? He's saying that maybe it's not necessarily the fact that we are destroying the earth, but more the fact that the earth is just getting hotter on its own. Will I say that that's completely correct? Probably not. Will I say that it's an interesting point to think about? Yeah. Sure, it's an interesting point to think about. It's great to think about. It's always good to consider different views. So, can we save the planet? Absolutely. There's things we can save the planet. We're a wasteful people. If you go out and look in other countries, and I hate to be that guy, but there are people who don't have much. We are a wasteful people. But in that, we can reduce waste and help others. But we can reduce waste. We can reduce our carbon footprint. We can do a lot of things to help. It's just what exactly is the cause? I'm not sure if we have all the answers for that. And if we do, and I'm just not informed, you're always welcome to talk to me and correct me about that, because it's just who I am. I'm willing to learn. You need to learn more. The day you die is really not whenever you stop breathing. It's the day you stop learning, right? Whenever you can no longer learn is when you die. And if not just mentally, like literally, like you learn something new every day. It's not just a saying. You literally learn something new every day, whether it's the simplest of things. I didn't know that blade of grass turned that color when this happened. I didn't know that bug actually lived here. I've never seen that before. I've seen it the first time today. So keep learning. And keep learning about how you can save the planet, dude. Look, this is simple, but to help reduce waste, and a wonderful gift from my girlfriend's family, they got me this water bottle that I can continually refill, and I don't have to buy a bunch of plastic water bottles. I think that's dope. Because I've not been the hugest environmental guy, but until I've gotten out into nature and I've done more, okay, I'm going out hiking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I've learned to care about the environment, because this is our planet, man. God created it for us, but this is our planet. We gotta take care of it. So, let's take care of it, man. Get you a water bottle, something to offset some of the damage we do. Pollution, how animals die to plastic. Absolutely, pollution's a problem, dude. Just look. So, Ed, you're in Kentucky with me as well. Look at. Have you ever been around the Ohio River? Um, it's ridiculous. It's nasty. It's disgusting. Think about how many times, and yes, I'm guilty of this, but I'm reformed because I've learned like that little bitty thing I do. Because here's the thing that we do as humans. Before I get back off into the original point, we go, oh, well, if I throw this piece of paper out, it's not going to matter. It's the same thing with voting that we do. We go, my vote does not count because I am one little bitty individual. And we make ourselves small. One, to get out of responsibility, which is something I want to talk about in another episode. And two, because we feel so small in such a big world, we don't realize the impact that we have. You don't realize that when you throw that plastic out somewhere, it doesn't just disappear. Like, that's the biggest thing they don't teach us as kids. Like, they teach us to recycle, but the biggest thing they don't tell us is like, look, when you do this and you throw this here, it's going somewhere, but it's not gonna disappear and vaporize into thin air. And if they would teach more kids stuff about that, I think it would help the pollution problem in the future, anyways. Because I think we're getting more aware, we're becoming more informed. There's more inventions to help us recycle, to help us, do better about the planet. But there's still people that just want to throw bottles out the window, want to do this, want to do that, and they want to harm our world. And yes, I used to be that guy. I really did. I used to be that guy that goes, well, I don't care. That one bottle I throw out's not going to destroy the entire planet, is it? Ha 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 ha. But it is. It's killing the planet. It's you. It's literally you. You are killing the planet if you do stuff like that. Sorry, I have to text her back. If you do stuff like that, it's literally you. So there's a sense of responsibility that you have to take into doing stuff like this, because I hate to tell you, this stuff isn't made up, man. We got a world that we got to take care of. So take care of it as best you can. I'm not telling you to go super green freak on me, but do something simple, man. Recycle something. Use something over again that doesn't necessarily need to be thrown out. Cut your plastic rings. Oh, that's a tough question. This is getting a little more serious. I'm a little more deep. And the show is actually going on for almost a total of 2 hours, which is dope because it's not nearly as long as I expected it, but we're going to keep going for a while after this one. So what should schools teach about more? Holocaust or slavery? I'll say teach them in conjunction. Because why not? Now, we get more of the Holocaust than we do slavery. In my school system, anyways. Because what we got about slavery is like, yes, it sucked. Yes, it's this. Yes, it's that. But Kentucky was one of the last states to get rid of slaves. So it's hard to teach that, right? Because that's literally ingrained in some people's culture. So it's hard to be like, your grandparents are terrible. Your families suck. And it's hard to tell these black kids like, well, your families are directly affected by this, realistically. So teach them both. We got to know about. And it sucks because it's interesting. I went to the Holocaust Museum and I was sickened. Like, I'll tell you the most vivid image from there. I was in a display and it had a bunch of shoes around from victims. Victims who apparently had been gassed. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong if you've been there, but there was like thousands of shoes in the room and you could smell the must on them and you could smell how dusty and how gross everything was. But it's something about smell that's so visceral to memory. And it didn't bring back necessarily a memory, but it brought me to an experience. And it showed me that people suck. But, and here's where I'm going to get at that. The reason why people can suck is because we have the power to do stuff like that. We have the power to get rid of certain races. We have the power to treat people bad. We have the power to treat people good. In the same token, we have the power to save people. In the same token, we have the power to do all this stuff, and we don't take advantage of it. Instead, we want to blame something else or someone else or some other force instead of literally blaming, okay, this is him. He did this. Take responsibility. So I say that to say, teach both and show the fact that people suck. That way one of those kids don't become one of those people. Because you don't really learn what humans can truly do until you look at pieces of history like that. Like that's the only way you learn how capable we are of doing things, is whenever you look at pieces of history to where people have been tortured, people have been pulled away from their families, people have been beaten, brutalized, had their whole culture taken away from them. People have not lived to see another day and only been old enough maybe to just now lace their boots or tie their shoes or anything like that. And then you don't get to hear about all of that until you go through history. So history is important, dude. It's one of the most important subjects you'll learn, most important things you'll come across. You ain't even gotta like I said, like you ain't even gotta go to school no more for history necessarily. Like you definitely want to learn in school. I'm not down in school, go to school, but like if you go to some reliable sources on the internet, you can learn whatever you want to learn. And that's what's ridiculous and what's so powerful and so empowering about the internet. You can learn whatever you want to learn. Whatever you want to do, you can learn how to do it. How you think I learned how to edit? Taught myself how to edit. Learned the rest of the stuff in broadcasting and stuff like that. Taught myself how to edit through videos that I found and articles that I read and stuff like that. And then I applied the skills there. Just like a textbook. So am I saying that, oh no, don't go to school anymore? Absolutely not. Go to school. Get your education if that works for you. But also realize that that doesn't have to be the limit or the extent of what you learn. Take responsibility for your learning and what you want to learn. Learn from people, learn from experience, learn from books. Keep reading books, man. All this stuff is digital now, and I'm a big digital fiend. You see I've got, look, microphone here, 2 monitors here, light kits above me, headset here, like a phone underneath me that I apparently can't stay off of because I love my girlfriend so much and I want her to feel comfortable. But literally, books. That's how everyone else used to learn. So, read a book on something. Keep learning is what I've got to say about that. And hopefully school systems will learn. You got to teach it all. You got to teach the stuff that sucks, the stuff that doesn't necessarily make America or anyone else look good or bad. You got to teach it all. Because if you teach it all, then you learn it all. If you learn it all, then you stop making the same mistakes. You don't know you make a mistake until someone points it out or something points it out or you find the consequences of it. When they see us. Okay, so my experience with that after I text back. So I saw the first episode and I was sitting there with my aunt in a nursing home. And it sucks. And not the show itself, right? The show itself is well produced. The show itself is great, but it sucks to sit there and watch people of your kind. Yes, I know it's fake. Yes, I know it's just a TV show, but it's realistic circumstances that happen and people aren't getting that. It's like one of those things that, people are just now starting to realize. And here in about 20 or 30 years, because that's about how long it takes us to catch on to stuff, we're going to look back at the treatment of black people in America by the justice system and go, oh my God, that's terrible. I guarantee you, and you can even attest to this, to the fact that whenever the media went to one of the, I'm so sorry, I forgot, concentration camps, since we were speaking on the Holocaust, and they showed them, oh, it's all good, it's all this and all that. And don't think that this is a shot against the media, because actually I want to work in media. The media is necessary. It's a necessary evil when done right. But there's some things that aren't always portrayed and can't always go, and people die to portray those things and get those things out to the public. But what I'm saying is that in 20 or 30 years, people are going to look back at the way black people are treated by police officers, by the justice system, what they do, and then they're going to see all this information that's been out there for years. It's statistically out there. It's video evidence. It's in speeches. It's in history books. It's literally out there for everyone to look at. They're going to see it, and they're going to be baffled at the fact that we did that. And they're going to go, wow, we really did that? And the answer, everyone's going to be like, of course we did. We were there. And we're going to have some survivors, hopefully like myself and others, that are going to be willing to speak up and be like, this sucks. Imagine being a kid and not being able to have all that much fun in the world because, you risk having your life taken because of one wrong thing. Not even one wrong thing you do, one wrong place you're at. or one wrong situation, you move wrong and you die. And there's another group of people that doesn't necessarily get that same treatment. That's not going to say that, that other people aren't killed by the police. I get the statistics. That's fine. That's factual. But there's a systematic issue towards black people in the justice system in this country that in 20 or 30 years, just like we look back on the Jim Crow era, which was not that long ago, what people don't realize, it was only 50, 60 years ago. That's barely a lifetime ago. It's almost an average lifetime. And that was actually happening in America, and you think things are just magically fixed. And we pretend like that's so far behind us. And we pretend like slavery's so far behind us. That's only a few generations back. And so the problem is we push things back and we think that things aren't as relevant as they need to be. But I'm telling you, mark my words, I've got this recorded. They're going to pull this video up one day. Somebody will. And when I tell you that in 20, 30 years, we're going to look back and be like, this sucked. We suck. Not as, as a country, the way we treat black people, it sucked. And then hopefully, through the right methods, through the right people speaking up, through the right leaders, that'll start to change. That's the only thing it'll change with is time, education, because you notice the people that are mainly, that are part of this are all part of that same system. They don't see anything outside of that system. Part of the thing about racism is people don't travel. They don't see other things. They're confined to their bubble. So they think that automatically their bubble is superior. They don't feel small. They feel big. Everything else is small underneath them because they're in that big bubble. Big fish, small pond. So I think that over time, things will get better with the justice system because it's going to become more refined, or it's going to go in the opposite direction. No one's going to hear this. One or two is going to happen. I think with education, and if people continue to educate and continue to speak, something's got to give. Why doesn't school teach you valuable things in life? Well, that's a great question. Why don't they? Because they absolutely should. So, I will offer you this. Okay. I will offer you a theory given to me by a political science professor. And he was saying that college, and we're going to go back to high school, right? We're going to go back to high school, middle school, elementary school. We're going to start at the top and then work our way down. So the top is working class America. Idealistically, you have completed your major. You are going to work in a field of your choice. And now you are ready to become a part of the working class. What's the catch? You got a ton of student debt. So what he was telling us is, hey, what if college was the holding cells? We hold these kids for 4 to 6 years on average, get them into all this debt, and make them into working class America so we continually have employees for jobs. While they're in there doing this, the old people are going to die off, and we've got young people to fill them right back in. Is that the truth? Well, you've kind of got to look at it from a perspective. Sounds good. But again, it goes back to the fact that people suck, and it's probably true. Is that to discourage anyone in college, because I'm a college student, or anyone thinking about going to college not to go? No, go. If that's what you want to do, go. Yes, degrees are becoming less valuable, but the difference is that you can go and get a degree and then maximize what you get out of that degree. Don't just go and float through the motions and do whatever. Do extra, do above and beyond. That way that degree is worth something and worth the experience that you get with it. That's how you beat that system. And then work ways ahead and then know about, okay, well, this is what this means. This is what a loan is, but this is what a grant is. This is how I can get grants ahead. And then when I have children and I have to do that, I can help them do that because I'm in that situation now and it sucks. And then now I can make sure that they don't fall down the same path as I did. And I can encourage them to look, this high school stuff is stupid, but it also is it's gonna help you out in the future. So school doesn't teach us valuable things because I think it's a marketing ploy for college. They teach you how to prepare for college. That way you can pay money to go to college. They can hold you into the college. It's a perpetual system, right? They hold you into college. Now we're chipping our way back down. You go from high school, recruit you to college, right? Hold you there, and then you become a working class citizen. Go back down to middle school. Middle school is to prepare you for high school. Okay, realize that whenever you get to high school, you got to prepare for college. Keep putting that in your head, right? You got to save for college. Elementary school, not so much, but all right, you got to prepare for middle school. You got to prepare for the next grade. You got to keep doing this. Your education is important. Your grades are important, blah, blah, blah. It's not preparing you for life. It's meant to prepare you for the next stage. And it's a blessing and it's a curse because we've got people well equipped to do stuff that's not functional in the world anymore. We've got people well equipped to go to college. We've got people well equipped to be college students. We've got people well equipped to graduate college. But do we have people well equipped to take on the world? Not as much. And I think part of that in this new age, like I was saying earlier, is that you've got to take responsibility for your own learning at some point. You've got to get the most out of your education because no one can teach you it all. But you can go out and learn, especially with this age where you can literally learn whatever you want to learn or read up about whatever you want to read up about or read somebody's opinion and learn some more stuff about it. You have that power, so you need to use more of it. We've got all this technology in front of us. Why not find ways to use that to help advance us, you know? And my school taught me about taxes. It definitely taught me about how to save insurance. That was part of like a social studies class that went into financial literacy. But you're exactly right. Not all schools teach that. It's something that is newer and it needs to be introduced a lot more. So that's my take on why schools don't do it. Any other questions, man? I'm open to them all. I just got to respond to a few notifications because they're important. But yeah, definitely give out more conversations, dude. I love this stuff. It can be about anything: wrestling, conspiracy theories. I don't care. I will give you my opinion and I'll give you that, and I have the right to revoke any conversation that I don't want to talk about. But other than that, like everything else is pretty much fair game. He says he's trying to feed you. You gotta think. That's okay. Take your time. I'm gonna be here for a little while, so I'm trying to think because you were going on the tangent of education and all that. And like I said, you got to educate yourself, man. Continue to educate yourself. Continue to learn new things. Continue another thing while he thinks of what he wants to ask me. One, there's a big thing about, oh, social media is evil. Social media is that. Social media is this. Social media is blah, blah, blah. You got to realize that you can use that stuff to your advantage. There are people literally making money doing nothing but social media and social media marketing. With that being said, you need to inform yourself on a bunch of things that you care about, and even things that somewhat you don't care about, especially for your future, especially whenever you get older. I'm 21 years old now, and a lot of things won't apply to me for another few years, but I want to learn about them ahead of time. That way I'm prepared for them. So you got to prepare yourself, you got to educate yourself, and you got to learn from others, dude. I can't stress that enough. Like, that's why I want to hear from you guys. I want you to talk to me because I want to learn from you. I want to pick your brain and see what's going on. Like, my girlfriend and I were in the hotel room the other night, and half the night was spent literally us sitting crisscross applesauce, just like some children. And then I was picking her brain about what she thought about the world, what she thought about black people being treated a certain way, what she thought about things just going on, and the cost of a life. It's ridiculous what you can learn just from talking to somebody that you think you know everything about. So like I said, dude, just keep learning from people. You can never learn too much from anyone, like at all. Like there's some things that I will never know enough about until I find someone who knows about it. It sounds dumb, but it makes the most sense in the world when you really think about it. Speaking of social media, like I was earlier, while I take a drink of water, I will go ahead and link you guys into ways and get to contact with me. Remember that you can find me on Twitter at EmperorJProd or Prud, if you prefer, short for Productions, character limit. You can follow me on Snapchat at BigBlack306. Yes, that is my personal snap. I am giving that to you for free, letting you follow my personal life because I care about you and I ain't got nothing to hide. And then on Instagram at Emperor J Productions. And remember, that's also personal too. You get to see my girlfriend. You get to see me outside of the webcam universe and outside of the Twitch universe. Take my sip of water. All right, so I'm going to start some random conversations myself, man. What's everyone's favorite candy? I would give you time to think about it because this is an important question, man. Candy's important. What is your favorite candy? It can be candy bars. It can be individual candies that you, oh, he says, oh, I remember. Uh-oh, we're going to get something juicy. Let's see it. Favorite wing flavor. Okay. We'll get back to the candy bars. Oh my goodness. It's so tough, right? Here's the thing about wings. I'll go off on a tangent and then hopefully that tangent will lead me back to finding what my favorite wing flavor is. Wings are so special and unique. Because you can literally see things ranging. I can't speak apparently. You can literally see things ranging from completely idiotic and stupid and does not belong on chicken to, wow, that's not bad, to, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That should have been invented like 50, 60 years ago. So that one end of the scale I was talking about the don't belong on wings. I've seen Kool-Aid flavored wings. Yes, I've seen them. I've never eaten them, never been around them in person. I've seen it on Facebook. It's very irritating. I don't ever want to see it again. Like, the image is burned in my brain. It's blasphemy. It's an abomination to food. Okay. That's one thing there. Then you've also got really good flavors. Like, oh my gosh, I could give you a whole bunch of them. Garlic Parmesan, fantastic. Honey barbecue is fantastic. Goodness gracious. Barbecue is fantastic. Jerk is fantastic. There's so many seasonings you can put on wings. But I think, and I hate to be that guy to be that basic, but here's the thing. There's some things that you know are tried and true, right? That you know is going to get the job done. You know is going to satisfy your taste for whatever you got a taste for. Okay, go back to your favorite staple ice cream. If you wanted to. You don't know what you want. You could go get the Neapolitan, have 3 flavors. Or you could get that one staple. Let's say it's chocolate ice cream. You know that when you take that scoop of chocolate ice cream and you eat it, it's going to hit the spot. It's going to do it for you. So for me, my wing of choice, the one that's going to hit the spot anytime I'm feeling in the mood for wings, it's got to be honey barbecue, guys. It's got to. It's undefeated. It's unmatched. It's simple. It's easy to prepare in various forms. And you've also got the option to add heat. It's a very versatile wing flavor. And I'm talking about a wing like it's this big, majestic, almost like it's an athlete or something. But really think about it, man. How easy is it to make a honey barbecue? Yeah, it's a classic, dude. It really is. Unless he's talking about classic wing flavor, which is another thing. But you've gotta really understand, man. There's some times that you've just gotta stick to Old Reliable. And for me, Old Reliable, it's honey barbecue. It just is. My hair is giving me trouble, so I have to apologize to you as I fix it. It's something that I can continually go to. And I can always have a good experience out of it. I don't really get that tired of it. And a close second would definitely have to be garlic parmesan. Exactly. Just like Ed said for us, it's easy to make. It's hard to mess up. If you mess that up, like you said, you shouldn't cook anymore. It's simple. It's 2 ingredients, basically. Everything else is optional. Honey and barbecue sauce, you mix it up, make the glaze, cook it over everything to your own preference of how thick or thin you want the sauce or how you want to prepare the sauce before that. It's good stuff, man. It does not fail. That's my take on my favorite wing flavor, though. I think it's honey barbecue just because it's all reliable. You cannot go wrong with it. Like, think about that. Like, I asked what your favorite candy was. Everyone probably likes more than one candy unless you're just not a sweets guy. If you're a sweets guy at all, or if you eat candy at all, you have at least one candy that just you know, if you have that sweet tooth, it's gonna knock it out of the park. Sometimes you just gotta go back to that stuff. There's nothing wrong with it. Consistency is important, especially in certain things in our life. If you consistently eat something good, why would you change it? Right. And like Ed said, even if you don't eat sweets, there's stuff that you still like. So for example, he's saying Snickers. And he's not even a big sweets guy, but there's still that one thing that's just it's tasty, man. It really is. Like it it takes care of things. It takes care of the problem you have. Videos and react on a stream. Oh my goodness. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh. I don't know about it, Ed. It's late. It's so late. He says he's gonna look some stuff up. I don't think I'm gonna pull the actual video like up so you guys can see it too. I may just let you watch my reaction to it. Because I have everything pretty much preset, so may as well just leave it as it is. But he's gonna look some stuff up. Said, how you gonna do that? I accidentally just called my girlfriend. How you gonna do that? So I could pull it up, right, and make a separate browser window. But again, that's a lot. Or I could just like I said, I could just watch it in my browser, and then you guys can watch my live reactions. Just drop it in the chat. But yeah, if you have those videos, you can send them to me. I'll probably watch them. Just link them in chat, something like that. I might give you guys sound, and that's about it. And don't forget, like the chat bot says, if you have Amazon Prime, you can definitely enter the arena for free. Definitely don't have to, but I will give you guys a listing. Whenever I get my credit roll together, you can be listed as a producer on this show because you're supporting with your monetary funds, and you could get moved up to a producer. Right now, you're kind of like an audience member, but if you subscribe for that, at least tier 1, then, you're a producer. And you can keep up with me on Facebook. I don't advertise on Facebook a lot, but if you want to, facebook.com/RushArena. It's really up to you guys. 16 minutes, Jesus. Alright, well, I will give you guys sound. And then, let's pull this up. Oh, I know exactly what's happening. I'm going to try to open it, and Google Chrome's not going to want it. Hang on. Let me minimize Streamlabs real quick. And then see if Google wants me to sign in or something. Google's not having it. crap. Now I can't even watch anything. I was supposed to react to guys' music too. Speaking of which, let me do that first. Let me react to his music first. His name is Trolley Bear. It's experimental music. I'll give him a subscribe. And I'll tap the bell for him. Alright, so he gave us a lot of good vibes in the stream, and if you're still here, Trolley Bear, I really appreciate you. But here's Trolley Bear good vibes. And Ed, if you want to, text me that video. Alright, so Trolley Bear good vibes. I don't know if that's him on vocals, but it's not bad at all. Oh, hang on now. Now the drums hit, the bass is hitting. I'll bring it a little closer just in case you can't hear. Okay. Like I said, it's not... No, like... He said it's experimental. It's definitely experimental. It's something I could listen to, though. And it's odd. But then again, like I said, like I have such a wide-ranging taste in music that, you know, it varies so much. Like it kind of fits all those genres. It's got the bass kind of like a hip hop or poppy song, and then it's got the nice little guitar, something a little more contemporary. Vocals aren't bad at all. No, I think he might have earned himself a fan. It's a big shout out to Trolley Bear. And sorry I waited so long to get him out, but somebody clip this for him and send it to him, or I'll clip it myself and send it to him, something. But good stuff for sure, you know. It's definitely good stuff. I always support people who make music or make stuff like that, because that stuff is tough. It's hard to be a content creator. It's hard to come out with stuff and send it to people, because that's like your life, you know. People don't realize like it's more than just getting critiqued. It's your life. You're an artist. So I appreciate him for putting his life in my hands, like literally, you know. Yo, shout outs to Trolley Bear. Wonder if his name is inspired by the candy, like, at all. Okay, so sadly, I can't watch the video that Ed sent unless he texts it to me. My browser shut down again. Google Chrome does this thing where if you close out of it too many times, it shuts down. But what's going on with you guys? Drop more topics for me to speak about. It can be combat sports related. It cannot be combat sports related. It doesn't matter to me. A little bit of silence, but that's okay. But yeah, holler at me. While I look for something shorter. Who's winning the Super Bowl this year? Green Bay. Green Bay. What's up? Oh my gosh, your name is in blue. Let me move things to see your name. Let me highlight it. Strythan. What's up, man? How's it going? So sorry I couldn't see it. The color blue blended in with the way my lights are set up and everything on my screen. What's going on, man? How are you today? I always love when people arrive in the chat. They're just like, what's up? Man, what's up with you, man? What's going on? But yeah, Green Bay's winning the Super Bowl. It's a reach, but it's my team. I got to go with my team. That's what people don't realize. Loyalty is important, man. So if your team sucks, you can know they suck but still like them. So there we go. There's that. Green Bay for it all. Let's hope Aaron Rodgers can get another ring. He said just chilling high as. Well, you enjoy that. Not particularly my lifestyle, but, you know, I have nothing against it. He said, hey, Green Bay. That's right. Green Bay is fantastic, man. He replied to his text. Yeah, man. But I'm glad you were just chilling. I'm glad that you spent your time chilling and here. See, that's what people don't realize how special that is to me, right? Because I'm not a huge streamer. I'm not a huge streamer by any means. Just got to affiliate. He texted it to me, sweet. But the fact that people come in here and then kick it with me, that's special. That's important, man. People don't get that. That's super important. So EdHead87 has just sent me a video. Now you get to watch me react to it. It's probably hilarious. Copy this link. I don't know why I didn't send his link. I don't know why I yawned either. Alright.
You are ranked out of this group right here, second highest. Can you guess your ranking overall?
Let's see this. Oh, thank you for the follow. Mr. Zymer Tracks 43. Thank you so much. Right on, man. Hang on. That deserves a, he said, I believe we could collab because you're a smaller streamer. Followed you already? Absolutely. I'll search you on YouTube. Soon as I finish this video, as a matter of fact, I'll search you on YouTube. Only an 8-minute video. Let's get through this, and then I will gladly search you on YouTube just like I did for my guy Trolley Bear, and then I'll happily look at your stuff.
I would say they probably did the same as last year. What was last year? Like 82 maybe?
Muhammad Sami, let's see what he's got.
You are correct. Your Madden rating is an 82. Your Madden rating in Madden 20 is a 79.
Calvin Ridley's a 79?
On how high speed is valued and good looks.
Your Madden rating is a 67.
67. You know what? It could have been worse.
It could have been worse. What's almost worse than a 67?
Your speed is a 71 though.
Speed's a 71? He's terrible. My speed's a 71.
52?
Lower.
Oh, what? Man.
What?
Don't shoot the messenger.
46?
Higher.
47?
A little higher.
49? 50?
Madden 20 has you rated as a 50.
He's a 50.
How are you, young fella? What's your name? Kamu.
Okay.
Where are you from, Kamu Hill? Hawaii. Alrighty, welcome to the High-Low Challenge. You ready to play? Yep. Alrighty, let's play. Let's take a look at the board here. And
Alright, let's look at this again.
Kamu Hill. And the rating is 70. Higher. It better be higher.
It better be higher.
And the answer is lower. I gotta get my rip on. Alright, well, thank you, Kamu. Welcome to the High-Low
okay.
Challenge. Hi, what's your name?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. What do you do for a living, Carson?
I play football, believe it or not.
Where are you from? Pittsburgh, North Dakota.
Jeez, yeah. I think EA kind of did mess everybody up, is what I'm getting from the gist of this. Did people dirty.
Lane Johnson, and the high-low is 85. Is
It's definitely lower.
20 rating higher or lower? Higher.
He said higher?
And you are correct, Carson Wentz. Congratulations.
Oh, it is Carson Wentz, okay.
Touchdown passes, and thank you for playing the high-low challenge. Hey, thanks, Dan. Me.
Me, me. It's absolutely me. Which defender has a higher throwing power?
Attributes, because I can throw a ball. For real. Gigs, maybe? Yeah? Yeah, I would hope me. I was a high school quarterback. It's me. Yeah, that should be right. That's right there. That's the truth. You see the stats? Oh, because he played high school quarterback. All right.
What game would you like to see me play, Ed?
Oh, man. Okay. I can see that.
You know, I need a Switch to do that, though.
So I would say Sam.
I actually need, a buddy of mine was planning to give me his Switch. I will know in a week from today whether I get it or not. If I get a Switch, I'll definitely play some Smash Bros. Like, I just don't have a Switch at the moment. Okay, so now we're going to do, like I promised, all about making connections here. My guy, Zymer Tracks, and of course he pops up first on YouTube. NCS Music and Remixes, 50,000 subscribers. You've got a sub from me. All right, let's hear it. I'm wondering how the drop's going to be in this. It's starting off pretty decent. It's building. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind. What people don't realize is you can always use background music if you're a content or video creator. You can always use background music anywhere. I think that's fine, background music, especially for a stream like kind of chill like this. That was playing softly in the background. I don't think anyone would mind at all. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. And that is Zymer Tracks 43. Big shout out to him for putting me onto his music. And remember, I keep all this stuff either in the tab, like in the top of my head, or I've got it saved in history somewhere. So it's saved, and it's something I'll come back to for sure, man. Man, I don't even know how long I'm gonna roll this thing. I'm not all that tired, but I could be up for a little while. Don't forget, social media, man. Emperor J Prod at Twitter, of course. Big Black 306 on Snapchat. That is my personal Snapchat I'm giving out to you for free. No, it's not a premium Snapchat. It's free Snapchat. Free time to speak to me personally. And Instagram, Emperor J Productions. And I've got another thing sent to react to. Because my browser sucks right now. So we're right back at it. Let's search this. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
This is in Georgia. Buffering some. Let's see. I think I've actually seen this guy on Joe Rogan's podcast. One of the guys. Sorry, there's like 5.
My stomach has been shot. So I'm gonna be the referee. Okay? Well, you lay the rules down. You said 2 minutes. 2 minutes. As many wings as you can put down. No meat can be left on the bone. We literally have to eat 10,000 calories a day just to be this big. It makes it a lot easier if you make a game out of it. I think I got a good shot.
Yeah, I know Robert.
Just like the rest of us.
I've seen him on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Set, go. Wow. You don't want to challenge the beast to a chicken wing eating contest. This is my element. 1 minute in, halfway. Wow. How did he do that? He literally inhaled that thing.
Literally inhaled it, huh?
Pretty good at food challenges against these guys, and I'm going to do anything to beat Eddie. 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Honestly, I think 10 chicken wings in 2 minutes isn't that bad. If I had a bit of practice, I reckon I could do 50. All right, let's figure out who's paying for
You could do
this.
50?
We got Eddie as the winner, and then you two in second place. Who cares about second place? The loser pays. That's a good point. The rules were to clean all the meat off the bones, and obviously, Oberst, you still have plenty of meat on your bones. Nick did a much better job of cleaning them. Therefore, Nick,
Wow.
second place.
All he had to do was clean the bone, man. Here's the thing that people don't know. There's an art to eating chicken wings, man. And I'm going to explain it as soon as this video is over. I'm going to explain to you what I've learned about eating chicken wings.
You want that one? You want this one? Then touch it. Which one do you want? Then touch it. Stop touching the burgers. I'm trying to help you ask for a burger.
Stop touching the burgers. Okay. It is an art. And here's what people don't understand, man. Let's say I have a flat, okay? For those of you who aren't big wing eaters, I'm going to condescend to you real quick, okay? So you've got a flat and a drumstick. You got little bitty drumsticks. That's pretty simple. Grab it. Eat it. You're done. If you get the flats, there's an art. So what you do is you take the little bone, you grab it across the big bone, take the little bone, and you want to separate that little bone from the big one, right? If you separate it clean, there will be no meat on that little bone. When you break it free, you pull it out through that skin. So imagine this is my diagram here, little bone here. You're pulling that little bone out through the skin. Now you've got the big bone and the other half of the meat. So what you do, you just take that, and like let's say you've got some remnants of the little bone, clean that off. Take the big bone, lollipop it. Okay, it sounds weird, it looks weird. Look, we're all masking the macho dudes. We get it. If you look weird at this point or look like you're doing something you're not supposed to, or you aren't supposed to, that's your business. I'm not here to judge or do anything like that. But that's the quickest way to eat those wings. And I saw a whole bunch of people that don't know how to eat wings. A whole bunch of big dudes that could lift more weight than I could ever imagine that don't know how to eat wings. So put Jay Dizzle in that contest or the Emperor in that contest, and I feel like I could at least come out with over 10 if it was all flats. Or even if it wasn't. There's an art to eating wings. People don't understand that. There's art to doing a lot of things, but eating wings is an art form. And I will stand by that till the grave. Guarantee it. Anything else at all, guys? Yeah, they don't understand, man. They don't know nothing about eating wings properly. When you get those wings eaten properly, man, it's different. Part of me wonders why I didn't pursue that career in, contest eating. But also, the part of me that doesn't want to be 600 pounds is why I didn't do it. So there's that. Again, guys, don't be afraid to holler at me. It can literally be about almost anything. Almost anything. I always reserve the right to revoke what you got to say to me. Because I'm still a human being, by golly. And we already had one person come in here and tell me I was a Trump supporter. Jesus, man. Like, of all things to say to me, that's what he felt the need to say to me today. He was like, this N-word is a Trump supporter. And it's recorded, I'm pretty sure. So, we'll look back, see who he is, get a couple laughs off of it. It's all good. Y'all know I don't get very actually pressed. I only get pressed for the laughs, man. That's what I do a lot of things in life for, is the laughs and the love of it. Anything else though, man? I think I'm gonna wrap it up within the next 8 minutes. End at about 12:30. Cause it's been super fun, dude. It's been easy to do. Could do this all day. Top 5 RBs, QBs, receivers by last year. Todd Gurley. Crap, that's so hard for me. All right, let's go QBs. Aaron Rodgers, even though he was hurt, definitely always going to be in my top 5. Carson Wentz, definitely pretty good. Russell Wilson kind of fell off, but he'll still make my list. But if we're talking about last year, Tom Brady, of course, all-time great. I can't say nothing about him. I just hate the guy. Like, there's people in the world that you will love to hate. And he's one of them. Just like Steph Curry for me. I know Steph Curry is fantastic at basketball. Is he, the greatest of all time? I know he is fantastic at basketball. He does things I could never do. But I have to hate the guy. Why? Because I have to. It's the same thing like with people that hate LeBron. You know LeBron's great, even if you hate him. But you have to hate him. So, excuse me. There's that. I don't even think I gave you 5, which is sad. But receivers, ooh. I didn't see as much of Odell as I would have liked to, or else he would definitely be in my list. Receivers is hard too. Here's why receivers is hard for me. Because the receiver position has evolved so much over the years that it is tough for me to put those guys all in just one top 5 spot. We have athletes at receivers that we never would have imagined the receiver position coming to. And we've got players that may not possess all the height that they need, but have freakish athletic ability to even stuff out. And it's the same thing on the other side of the ball with corners. Which is why it brings me to, it is tough for me to put them into a top 5 list simply because the position has elevated itself so much. Every receiver in the NFL, I feel like, is elite in some way, shape, or form. Now, does it mean that the routes may run fine and they don't catch as well? Okay. But it's so tough for me. And I don't even think I'm going to try, with the limited brain power I have left, I don't think I'm even going to try to put them into a top 5 because I don't want to disgrace anybody, at all. But, guys, I think that's going to wrap up our show for the night. Thank you. Hardest position in football. Before we go. Offensive line. And not just because I played it, but you've got to think of it like this. You are literally back there protecting someone, right? So let's say you do protect your quarterback. He never gets touched. You don't get a stat for it. You barely get recognition for it. Now it's becoming a little more popular to recognize an offensive lineman for a great job and for a pancake block or anything like that. But you don't get stats. You don't get recognition. And you constantly take punishment from people coming across the ball to do nothing but get to that guy. So you're a guardian, you're an unsung hero, and it's not for the mentally weak. You've got to realize, here's the thing. You could block a guy. Let's say you run 500 plays in a game, which is a lot. You run 500 plays in a game. You could get the guy 498 of the time, and if he gets 2 sacks, he has a great game. But if you give up those 2 sacks, you sucked. And that makes it difficult. It makes it very difficult mentally. It's a challenge. It's something you have to come to grips with and understand, and you have to put behind yourself. But when you first start to realize, like, I can't let this guy through. If he gets 1 sack, 2 sacks, 3 sacks out of, even if I dominate him the whole rest of the time. What's up, man? And that is a subscriber coming back. What's going on, my guy? But again, no matter what, if you go and you let that guy get past you, you suck for that day. You just do. Like, and it's tough. It's a sucky thing to be a part of, for that reason. Outside of that, it's pretty good. Like, it's a great experience. You meet great people. You find out who's loyal, who's weak, who's strong. But again, man, you don't get stats. You don't get recognition. You blend in with the trenches. A lot of people in the casual audience have no clue what you do, who you are, what your name is, what number is. None of that. You blend in. I don't care if you're an all-state offensive tackle. Oh, you know who cares about that? Football players, football coaches. You know who doesn't? The fans ready to see the quarterback throw it to the receiver, and they probably don't even know the quarterback's name or the fact that he's a quarterback. With that being said, offensive line is definitely the hardest. Defensive line, coming somewhat in second because they have a similar job, and yeah. Yes, thank you so much, Ed. Like Ed said, I'm gonna head off of here in just a little bit. Like I said, I would go at least till 12:30, so while we have a little bit of time, don't forget that you can follow me on social media at Emperor J Productions on Twitter, Emperor J Prud, Snapchat Big Black 306, Emperor J Productions on Instagram. Big thank you to Ed Head for spearheading this show and kind of giving me a lot of ideas, and also Lil Sturge. And thank you to everyone who stopped by, gave some positive words, gave some positive feedback, gave some negative feedback. You guys literally drive the show. This is literally made for you. So again, just a huge thank you to you guys. I hope you have the greatest of days. I really do. Like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And other than that, I don't have too much to say. Just know that I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to try to do this at least once a week. I may come back with it tomorrow night, may not. It's a Friday night. Why not? What else do I have to do, right? I'm going to try to do a show at least once a week, keep up with it, and then I'm going to try to get certain clips and archives posted on Twitch and YouTube. I'll keep you posted with that. But once again, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Much love to you. Your boy is out of here.